we would be very appreciative of any remarks that you can make for the family.
This has been an honor of a lifetime for us to come out here and do this work. There's no better way to continue to serve our country than to do the work that we're doing. I'd also like to personally reach out to the family of Anthony DePetta and Wilbur Mitz. And I'd like to tell those families that your family members are coming home, and it was our honor. And I think, again, I can speak for my whole team as well as Project Recover and say we will not stop. And to all the people that are still yet to come home, stand by. This will come.
I can't even describe how it might be to have a son at war. It is our living history that we lost these servicemen protecting our freedoms that we so enjoy today. It's just a wonderful event and a tribute to my uncle J. Ross Manown. I feel like I stand in my grandmother's shoes, particularly representing all of the family to receive him home. He was in active duty for a couple years in the Pacific. His Avenger plane was known to be the largest single-engine bomber of that era. It was enormous plane flying off of the Enterprise, and he was head of his squadron at age 26, and they had flown many missions together. There were 3 on these Avenger planes. There was a radio navigator and also a gunner. It was a day just like so many others, and they took off and everything was normal.
They're on a mission, and one assumes that the mission is always going to be completed, right? And so what happened was the plane was hit by enemy fire, and it burst into flames. There were people who saw this happen, and the assumption was there were no survivors, there were no parachutes seen.
The shock waves were so devastating. My grandmother, she had been a brown-haired, beautiful, elegant lady. In a matter of months, her hair just literally went white. The suffering of grief was such a shock to her.
I had the benefit of all the attention that they put on me due to the grief they were going through. And I ended up spending almost every weekend of my life with my grandmother. And I grew up surrounded by everything they had left of Wilbur. We didn't ask a lot of questions because you don't like to make the people that you love and are caring for you sad, and that was a sad topic.
I picture my grandmother standing in the house and someone coming to the door and telling her that her son is missing in action, presumed dead, and I cannot imagine what that feels like. You know, when the phone call comes that they found him, and when I go to New York and stand on the tarmac when the plane brings Tony home to us, it's my grandmother I stand for. I stand for her. I stand for my father, who, you know, it was this exceedingly deep loss. And so I am the one who sees Tony come home through their eyes and for them.
Jay is the final team member to be brought back for burial. So we will be joining the nieces of these wonderful men that flew these missions together every day, and we've communicated beautifully and become friends through this experience and almost a sisterhood of type.
Welcome. Oh my gosh, how are you? Oh, thank you all for coming. Oh, I can't believe this. Really, bless you. I'm so thrilled you're here. I'm so thrilled as we are.
Look at those faces. Beautiful. The smiles, right? That energy that they share with each other. Right. That, right? Camaraderie.
Camaraderie! Yes, get in here.
Everybody puts a hand on it. So everybody.
We've talked so much by phone and feel so close, and this is just a joy to meet each other in person, and we're just sharing the emotion we felt about bringing our uncles home. The whole piece coming together, our memories, and certainly the memories of the grief, the sorrow, the missing spot that uncle left in their lives and in our lives passed down, and how we've thought about what would it have been like to have grown up and known them, and maybe grown up a little more with their children, and what we would have learned from them, and all that could never be.
It takes a life of its own. You know, there's an expansiveness that comes with this. It's an experience that runs so deep into one's being. It is also an experience that not many people have. That connection between my uncle and Wilbur and Jay is a connection that Diana and Becky and I have. We are connected not only through this experience of experiencing what it's like to be a niece who stands in the stead of the mother and the siblings, and we have a connection because our uncles were involved in not only defending the freedom of the United States, but as human beings who fought together and died together and spent 80 years together, their energy in the ocean.
Today, after more than 80 years, we can finally say, welcome home, Jay.
As we started having ceremonies in hometowns, not only families come together, but communities come together. There's this thing that happens, and I don't know, I keep thinking there must be a master planner someplace, because people are lining the streets, they're holding American flags, there are posters. I think this is a spontaneous outpouring of emotions by the whole community, and it's so touching. You know, and I think this is what America is all about. This is something that I wish all Americans could see. I really believe the community deep in its heart wants to do this, and now they've been given a reason.
The honoring, the never forgetting, what started as something grounded in sorrow. This place where I sit now is I have this story of deep respect for the Navy, for Project Recovery, for every service person who is involved.
I feel so, so grateful and so happy to be here, even though there's a sadness in all of us, because we would have loved to have known them and had them come home when they were supposed to come home. But this is the next best thing.
Unbelievable compassion and service to the country to bring our MIA, POW, killed in action people home. To think that people care that much is one thing that this group has taught me, this experience has taught me, is the needs are vast. It doesn't matter in how you serve, just let it be through love.
always remembering that we're talking about a person, and not losing sight of the fact that that individual had a family and we're really doing something for them.
So my grandmother, she would be impressed by the love and the honoring that one would show a simple rural boy, that this country would honor her son in this way. She would be deeply, deeply grateful.